Everything the ball does, how far it goes, how high it goes, how much it spins and curves, is a direct response to the laws of physics that exist at the moment of impact. So we're going to really focus on what the pros do, what the pros have in common when they are in that impact position. On the left is Rory McIlroy, and on the right is Grant Waite. Grant was a tour player during the 90s, and this year will be his first year on the senior tour. Grant was selected by the TW Biomechanics Lab to demonstrate the fundamentals of a good golf swing. Tiger Woods has said in the past that he thought Grant Waite had the best swing in golf. I've drawn a blue arrow from the inside of the left foot, and also have drawn a blue arrow showing how the left foot is flared slightly open. I've drawn a red arrow from where the ball position is, and a red line showing the shaft position at impact. First, let's look at how much weight is on the left foot at impact. The average pro will have 85 to 90% of their weight on the front foot at impact. Both of these players have the majority of their weight on the left foot, Grant a little more than Rory. When the ball is on the ground, in order to hit the ball solid, you must hit the ball before you hit the ground. You must hit the ball with a descending blow. You must position the low point of your swing arc in front of the ball. In order to do that, you must position the center of your swing arc in front of the ball. You do that by having your weight and hands in front of the ball at impact. Justin Rose on the left, Robert Rock on the right, hands in front of the ball, majority of the weight on that left foot. Tiger Woods on the left, Adam Scott on the right, majority of the weight on their left foot, hands in front of the golf ball. Now let's look at your swing at the beginning of the session and see where you are at the moment of impact. At impact, you are flat-footed and evenly balanced between both feet. Your hands are slightly behind the golf ball. Now let's take the swing to the finishing position. You have begun to shift more weight to your left side, but it's too late to have any effect on the impact position. The general impression of your finishing position is that it is like the pros, but the subtle differences between your finish and Grant's is what we need to focus on. The blue line is going right through the center of Grant's hips and body, and your blue line is tracing the front of your body. When you learn how to have more weight on your left side at impact is when you will have more weight on your left side at the finish. Yes, standing tall like that on that left side. You're what I call posting up on the left side. Good. Much better. It's getting closer. That finish is what keeps you from banging the ground behind the ball. That gets your weight in front of the ball. I like that a lot. Now let's look at your finishing position after working on this posting up on the left side. This is a much more complete and dynamic finish. Not only are you more to your left side, but you're rotating more as well. I love that shoulder position where that right shoulder is almost pointing to your target. When your mind is on that more complete finish, it actually influences the movements you make before the finish. With the swing on the left, at the top of that swing, you let your knees slide to the right. With the swing on the right, you can see you maintain that bracing angle, keeping your knee on the inside of that back foot. That would allow you to transfer your weight to the left side sooner and more complete. As you start down into the 5 position, this is when the left arm is parallel to the ground, you can see the difference between how much weight you've moved past that blue line. With the swing on the right, you are correctly starting your downswing with the lower body. When the swing on the left reaches impact, your hands are slightly behind the golf ball. With the swing on the right, even before you hit the ball, your hands are in front of that red line. So with the swing on the right, you have your weight forward and your hands forward before impact. That's very good. This is what will allow you to hit down and hit the ball before you hit the ground. The problem you said you were having was you were crashing into the ground behind the golf ball, hitting a lot of fat shots. And that's because you did not have enough weight to your left side and you did not get your hands in front of the ball before impact. Now you are making a much better move to the left side.
What club did we go to?
52.
Okay. What was the first one?
8.
Okay. And were these the ones that you were struggling with?
This one.
Okay.
The 52 on the 100-yard shot, and the 56 per se.
Okay.
A little wide maybe for wedges. Okay.
With your gap wedge, we talked about narrowing your stance slightly. On the right is Tiger hitting a wedge, and you're hitting your gap wedge. And I've drawn a box on the outside of the hips straight down to the ground. And you can see how you're much wider than Tiger is. I'm going to take Tiger up to the finish of the swing. I want you to notice how his right knee will get even with his left knee. This hip to knee is straight down. And let's look at yours now. You're not quite getting that leg up there. And a lot of it's because that right foot is so far behind you, it's difficult for you to have this angled right knee that's even with your left leg. On the right, you have a little bit more narrow stance. It's only subtle, it's only an inch or two, but I think that'll help you make a better move to your right side.
For wedges, I like that.
The more narrow stance will help you get your right side on top of that left foot.
There's a pretty good fade on that ball.
Okay.
Okay.
I actually saw that ball start on a line left of the second line.
Yeah.
It's actually starting pretty straight.
Right. You can tell.
But then it's going to then curve to the right. Some slices start right, curve right. Those
Right.
will kill you.
Right.
If the ball is starting where you want it to start, but curves you don't want.
Right.
It's a path problem.
Okay.
Anything that makes the ball curve to the right means that the path was to the left of where the face was pointing.
Gotcha.
Your path is outside in, and it needs to be inside out. In order to have more out in your path through impact, I need you to have more in the backswing.
Okay.
I almost feel like you're going to rotate around this left leg. I want you to feel flat here, almost. I don't want you to feel up high. I want you to keep this right elbow tight.
Close. Okay.
I want you to feel like you're still behind the ball, but you're
Okay. I got it. It's just almost like a baseball swing.
exactly. It's a natural athletic. Good. Trying that for new field. Now we're open. The path and face are almost on top of each other. So you have got the path now to the right because there's not that very much curve.
Right.
So
Before we adjusted your swing, you were starting the ball straight, but it was curving to the right. That kind of ball flight indicates that the face angle was square to your target line, but the path was to the left of that target line and left of the face position. With that ball flight, you did not have a face position problem, you had a path problem. We needed to get your path to go in to out so that it was either on the same line as the face or to the right of the face so that you have a nice draw. We began working on swinging on a stable axis, and that axis would be off your left side. We used the phrase such as an early turn. So we let that right hip turn right away from the takeaway. This gave you a more inward path on the backswing, which allowed you to have a better outward path on the downswing. You started hitting the ball much straighter with very little curve. When the ball goes straight, that means that the path direction is on the same line that the face is pointing. When the path vector and the face vector are on top of each other, the ball will go straight. When those two vectors separate and become different, that's what creates curve. If it's a small difference, it's a small curve. If it's a large difference, it's a large curve. So you began hitting a straight ball, but that straight ball was starting right. So it was no longer starting straight. It was starting right, but not curving. That was evidence that you did change your path. You no longer were swinging to the left with the path. You were swinging to the right with the path. But it was on the same line as the face, which was also to the right. So now what was required was to tweak that face angle a little more to the left. One of the things that can cause a face angle to be a little bit too open when you have an in to out path is how you hold the club with your left hand, your grip. I took a close-up of your grip, and your left hand was in a weak position. The picture on the left is how you were holding it, and I've drawn a blue arrow along the crease of your left hand between your thumb and forefinger. And on the right was how I changed it. I had you adjust your left hand and strengthen it and rotate it just slightly so that that crease was pointing more to your right ear.
Yep.
This was the first drive you hit off the tee box after hitting several good drives off the range. At impact, I'm going to slow the swing down even further, and you'll be able to see the direction this ball went. This was a little bit of the old swing where you had a push slice and you missed the fairway to the right.
Left hand, early turn. We know that good swing is inside of you. We saw it 5 in a row over there. Early turn.
On the next several drives that you hit, you focused on this early turn and you did not hit any more to the right.
Good. That's pure. Everything about that was perfect. I can't wait to see the today's posture and what it used to be. You are definitely standing taller. You're not reaching as much.
Right.
It looks really good. Is that comfortable now?
Yeah, I've made it.
That looks really, really good, Alton.
Alton, you made a really important change in your posture. The swing on your right was from last week, and then the swing on the left was a while back. And you can see how different you are now. You were really out on your toes and reaching too much on the left. And now you're in a really good professional posture. You got your weight between your feet, and you're going to make the right kind of transfer to the left side. That's just really, really good.
Yeah, that's a good tempo. You just need to not kill it. Trust it. You have a tendency to be a little quick off the trigger, a little quick off the ball. I want you to really concentrate on almost being painfully slow in that takeaway. First 12 inches need to be just an early turn, one-piece turn. That's almost an exaggeration of it, but you may need to feel the exaggeration for a while.
I did that. Just
Yeah, that's even slower than I would. I'd almost say, hey, that's way too slow. But you might need to be there.
I was doing it.
You may need to do that to make the right speed feel okay. But I'm real pleased with what I'm seeing here. We're going to finish quit on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, you're standing tall on that left hip like that. So early turn. All those are much better.